Hi, this is Doug with fingersonthefrets.com. Today we are going to do a little blues in A with a walking bass. So I've come up with a nice little soul jazz kind of guitar figure here. Just a blues, 12 bar. Starts off like that, and then we're going to do some walking bass using melodic sequencing approach and some chromatic approach tones. And I'm going to do that in two positions, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. So it kind of sounds like this. Goes back to the beginning there. So, okay, what are we doing? Well, it's this little bit of an A7 chord here, and then D9, A7, D9, E9, D9, A7. So this is from the E form. If you follow my caged guitar lessons, it's in a form here, you know, A form, which matches here. Lift this finger up, it becomes A7. From the E form. Now, what I'm going to do is not play that big chord shape. I'm going to play the three inner voices, which is the seventh of the chord, which is a G, the third of the chord, which is a C sharp, the fifth of the chord, which is a E. So, if I have my little melodic figure, and then I have to go to this note, which is a C natural, because the chord is going to a D9 or a D. So when I do my little melodic sequence, I have to change, obviously, to match the chord that's coming up next, which is this chord. Now, I'm not playing the root there because, you know, it just doesn't sound as cool, you know. Maybe there's a keyboard player playing with you or a bass or something. So, okay, then up to the E9, same idea, and then to the D9 and back to this. Okay, so then, when we get into the walking bass idea, if you've studied with me before, looked at some of my other lessons, you'll see melodic sequencing, where you take a sequence of notes and you do that same sequence for every chord in the progression. So for instance, if it's A7, then D7, I might just do something very simple, just A, B, A. Then when I go to the D chord, I'm going to play D, E, D. Now I'm doing the first note in the scale, the second note in the scale, back to the first note in the scale. And then when I go to this chord, I go E. It's a very simple way to start improvising. One of the most famous ones is 1, 2, 3, 5 in scale tones. So instead of just 1, 2, 1 of the scale of the moment of the chord that you're playing, you're going to play 1, 2, 3, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 5. So some of that is in here like this, but I didn't want to make it too sterile and boring. But you're going to see that that's kind of like the idea. So what you want to do, I made it a lot more interesting with some chromatic approach notes and things like that. But for instance, very simply, if I went and then D, back to A for 2 measures, to D for 2 measures, because we're following a blues form. Real simple way to play a bass line or any type of a melodic sequence that you want to play over a progression. So that kind of works, or you know, anything that you want. But that's kind of like the idea. Now I'm going to put little chord stabs in there so it's not so boring. And And then I've mixed it up and not done just a straight 1, 2, 3, 5 melodic sequence. You'll see how it sounds. So I slow down, and we'll start right here. So here's the root, the third, the fifth, and then I do a descending chromatic approach tone into the root of the next chord. So there's all kinds of little tricks you can do. Now the next measure, obviously you've heard that 1,000 times, so you're going to go down here to the F sharp, which is the third of the D7 chord, D9, and I'm going to walk it towards my A. Then, I'm sorry. So that's 1, 3, 4, 5 of the scale. You know, I'm talking scale tones here. Now, I play this little A7 shape. Instead of playing this one, I go to this one. So I'll just kind of play through it. I mean, that's probably a little bit hard to understand talking about each individual one, but here's the thing to remember. If you know your melodic sequence patterns, and you know your arpeggios, root, third, fifth, seventh, root, third, fifth, seventh, root, third, fifth, seventh, root. Now you can start to use those ideas with the root, third, fifth, sevenths, and then if basically you're going to run out of notes, or you're going to run out of, the pattern's not going to line up leading to the very next chord. So sometimes it's really great, and it sounds awesome too, to put a chromatic approach tone in there. So for instance, I want to go to that note, so it wouldn't make any sense to go, you know, so you'd want to go, and it's all written out, so it gives you some nice ideas to try. But anyway, I'm going to play through the walking part slowly for you. Then what I did is I went up to this position of the guitar. So what you want to do is start, you know, if you know all your different forms and the scales that lay over the forms, you know, all these different A7 forms on the guitar that you should know, and E7 and D7. Then you start doing that idea with the same walk. You can start with the 1, 2, 3, 5. Walk down pentatonically like I did right there, but see right there I used an A7 chord. Then here's E7 right here, this little shape, and that's A7 and that's D7. So you want to explore the 5 positions on the guitar, or you know, mix and match them, or whatever you want to do. Okay, so here we go from measure 14. Okay, so that kind of is my blues in A with walking bass line. And at the beginning, I just put like a little fun, because obviously you want to, have like a head or like a, beginning of your song. Then you can walk through this part here. The last thing I'll say about it is, if you're starting to improvise and using some of your arpeggios and scales and melodic sequencing and little ideas that you're working on, creating your own little walking etude like this, whether you're throwing the chord stabs in or not, whether you're used to doing like, picket fingers technique, hybrid picking, or if you can't, you can just use the pick. It's, kind of find your own style with that, but try to walk these. Don't think of it as just a bass down here. You can walk these ideas, up on the neck, You see what I mean? So then as it speeds up and you move it around, you can change the rhythms and do some fun stuff with it. So again, it's Doug, fingersonthefrets.com. If you go to the website, you can sign up or buy the PDF files individually. All the videos are free. PDF files you can buy individually, or if you sign up, you can also get the Guitar Pro file, Guitar Pro 6, Guitar Pro, which I use to score all this stuff out with, and then you can have the file at home and you can slow it down and work with it. So lots more stuff on the website. Hope to see you there soon.